There's an old saying about idle hands will be the devil's playground.
He hit my hands. Nobody has ever hit my hands. I've never heard of this one. Look at those hands.
And that's the moral of today's movie review. We're going to be talking a little bit about the late 90s horror comedy hybrid, Idle Hands. I saw this movie back in the day in the movie theater with a lot of my friends, and we thought it was hilarious. There's a lot of gore, a lot of raunchy jokes, and it's just a lot of fun all around. It's got a young Jessica Alba in it, as well as a young Vivica A. Fox. So that's pretty cool, and I'm pretty stoked to be checking out the movie again. It's been a long time. The soundtrack's killer, the actors are great, and this should be a treat. So, without further ado, I'm going to cut right to the trailer, and then when we get back, we're going to be talking a little bit about Idle Hands.
So I came all the way over here, you said you was holding.
I didn't say what I was holding.
Anton Tobias never had much on his mind.
Don't you think you should have, like, a goal?
My dream life would be to lie around all day in bed and watch TV while some hot broad delivers me food.
And he always had time on his hands.
4 bodies have been discovered, and the killer is still at large.
Until one of them got a mind of its own.
I have no control over my hands. It makes me do things I don't want it to do.
Aren't you a little old for Ding Dong Ditch?
Sorry about your bush.
I'm gonna call 911. What's the number?
I'm not the killer.
Okay. I mean, if OJ could get off, then I'm sure. You there?
Now, his hand won't stop.
I don't want to hurt you. Don't! Ew, that's disgusting.
His friends won't die.
You're dead. Undead, actually. And there was this big, bright white light at the end of a long tunnel.
So what happened?
We were like, forget that, man. It's too far.
And the only way to stop it
Idle hands are the devil's playpen, so keep my hands occupied, right?
is to keep it busy.
Freeze! Drop the knitting needles.
That's probably not a good idea.
Put him down!
Cuff me!
Put those needles down, young man! Down!
Cuff me!
Columbia Pictures presents
The police have no leads, and the killer is still out there.
You scream like a girl.
the comedy
Careful, it's on kind of loose. That's really starting to get on my nerves.
that dares to give scary movies
Look at me!
the backhand.
What you doing, man? That's my dad. Come on.
CPR, man. I saw him Baywatch. Did you lose something there, bud?
Idle Hands. The touching story of a boy and his hand.
Kinky.
Fly for a white guy.
By no means, guys, this is not a fantastic movie or anything like that. Idle Hands, quite simply, is a guilty pleasure. The movie was made in 1999, and right around that time period is when I was set to graduate high school. So when I watch this movie, it sends me back to that era. I was the same age as a lot of the kids in this movie, and, you know, I could relate to it for some reason. The music was the perfect embodiment of that era, things like The Offspring and Rob Zombie. And, you know, I had the hots for Jessica Alba. Vivica A. Fox is great, and the lead who plays Anton, he was just hysterical. Seth Green is in this movie, and him and his buddy are funny too. A lot of the jokes remind me of the Naked Gun movies, and, you know, it's equal measures serious, gory horror and slapstick, silly as fuck comedy. I like movies like that. It reminds me of the 80s, much akin to the Nightmare on Elm Street films and the Evil Dead movies. I mean, come on, Idle Hands? That just reminds me of Bruce Campbell, you know, cutting off his own hand. But at the end of the day, I can only give this movie maybe 5.5 to 6 stars. It's not a great movie, but it is perfect for those late nights where you and your buddies are sitting around, drinking beers, looking to turn this thing off and just zone out to a movie. So with that being said, I can totally recommend Idle Hands for that midnight movie crowd. Give it a hand, folks!